Welcome back to Miles Off It. Today, we are talking about the Seagulls, Michael, Brighton, and Hove Albion.
Both of them.
Graham Potter, and Tariq Lamptey, and Neil Maupay, and Cucurella.
Maybe.
Hopefully. Maybe. Who knows? He could probably be gone by the time when this comes out.
AJ Wood, let me hold that beat.
All right, Brighton finished 9th in the Premier League last season, their highest finish in Premier League history. They were 12, 15, and 11. They had 51 points, -2 goal differential, 5, 7, and 7, 22 points at home, 7, 8, and 4, 29 points on the road. Michael, this is a team that you love the jerseys, you love the kits. We like watching them sometimes. We're really high on Graham Potter. Probably going to talk about that. What is this team's strengths?
Well, John, the Gulls of Brighton and Hove Albion. Graham Potter is the first one. He's a great coach. I think the hype about Graham Potter is legit. It's real. I think that they have a lot of kind of like how we say like role players that he kind of gets a little bit above and beyond. I think whenever Trossard, for example, is playing, I think he looks incredible whenever I watch him play. Very strong, experienced, and wiry midfield, as I mentioned. At attacking mid, they got Gross, Trossard, McAllister, who we had once thought was an Irishman. Really, he's somewhere in South America. And then they have DM and center mid, Adam Lallana, again, older but very wiry, very energetic. Caicedo and Mwepu are both really good defensive midfielders as well. And then they have great wing backs, Tariq Lamptey and Marc Cucurella, both top-class wing backs. They provide a lot of width for them, and they can whip in the ball to the attacking options.
You're a regular Dr. Seuss on that one.
Dude, it almost got me. Actually, it did get me twice, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. No, dude, we talked about this 2 years ago, like when it was just Lamptey, and then last year when they picked up Cucurella. Their defense is fun. Like Graham Potter, how he plays is fun. They're attacking. I love how attacking the defensive line gets almost to the point where you're just like, are they going to be able to get back? But they have really, really athletic defenders. Right. I also agree with you. It is like success by committee, I guess, in the midfield. And it's a bunch of people that like you would have never guessed. Like on top of those people you mentioned, the days where we were talking about Danny Welbeck scoring, crazy. Like, unreal. So, I do like that there's been a good mix, and I think the locker room probably reflects that. Again, never been in this locker room, but the locker room reflects, like, they got some young dudes. They got some young dudes that are learning the ropes and that are going to be really, really good players mixed in with a couple of those veterans that have, been way more than around the block that have helped them out. However, they do have some weaknesses. Cucurella, Lamptey, Dunk, Webster, they're good players. They're great players, some of them. But their depth in that back line is a little concerning, especially with how they play. They're playing the 5 in the back. If they have one of these guys go down, which they did. Lamptey didn't play that much last year.
Right.
and they held steady. But you want to see this team at full force. If one of these guys goes down, it's a little bit harder for them to be successful, to get the W's. They were team draw last year, team tie.
Loved it.
So that was something that really helped bolster them into, the top 10. They also have no effective striker.
True.
all the strikers they have, not one of them was one that you were just like, yes, like they're going to get in there, they're going to score a goal. Their combined XG last year was 46. They only scored 40 goals, and their XA, which I'm assuming is their
expected assists, 29.1.
And they had 30 team assists. So it's like They're not creating those chances and just getting unlucky. They're literally creating the amount of chances that they scored goals, and they need to score more and more and more goals, and they need to be more effective at the front line. That brings us to a real interesting question, Michael. Our Seagulls, with the nice kits, where do they need to be buying next year?
John, they need to be buying, and they have actually been buying in the attacking position, the striker position. I think they're out on Neil Maupay at this exact moment. But I think before even that, if you're talking about this coming season, which you can get into the whole investing and, sell a player high, get as much as you can from him and reinvest, blah, 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 blah. If you're talking about this season, you got to do everything you can to keep Marc Cucurella. I give that about a 25% chance, if I'm being honest, because now Chelsea are in the mix. You guys and Chelsea, I think if they piss you guys off enough, you're just going to say, fuck it, and take all, just throw all the money at him and take him and whatever. I think they had him at like $40 million, or maybe that was the bid that was rejected. If you can't keep him, you have to replace him, and you have to replace him with somebody who is up for it. Who you can't just put anybody back there. And then I think actually to the point where you need to double dip because there isn't any backup for him as it is right now. And then I think before they made some moves, they needed an out-and-out striker, obviously, for Maupay. Which brings me to they've brought in Dennis Undav, and they've already brought in Julio Enciso, something like that, one of those. He's a second striker type. Dennis Undav is more of an out-and-out striker. So I think at least conceptually they've done enough there. They have more options. And then after that, I got two different... You know how like the Marvel universe is going off in all these different directions? I'm going off in different directions too. I got if you keep Cucurella and if you lose Cucurella. Mm-hmm. Okay? So if you keep Cucurella, you got to go Benoit Badiashile from Monaco. He's a big center back. He's versatile, right and left-sided center back. He can play any part of your back three center backs. And then if you keep Cucurella, I think you go a little bit younger, a little bit less experienced, and a little cheaper. And you go with Mickey van de Ven, left back, center back from Wolfsburg. If you lose Cucurella,
yes,
you do exactly that, what I just said, and then you double dip and you buy David Hanko from Sparta Prague. He's also a left-sided center back and left back. I think you just go hardcore into the defense. You have a good midfield. You're buying some attacking options. You got to bolster that defense anyway. So if you lose Marc Cucurella, you got to put somebody else back there, and you got to put a couple guys back there because he's more than just one player, really.
Yeah, I totally agree. As the team that was trying to get Cucurella, Man City, and now it looks like Chelsea might be kind of taking this transfer from us, essentially. If you lose him, you're losing, honestly, kind of the dynamic aspect to your offense. And it's funny to say that as him being a defender. One of the guys that has popped up, I know Chelsea was looking at Cucurella. We've mentioned this guy before, but Levi Colwill will be on the move this year, and we just got to pin down where he's actually going to go because we've predicted it. I didn't write down much at all for the transfer thing, but I think that I got a late idea for them. Now, this is only if they sell Cucurella. I agree. All right, you sell Cucurella. I like your Mickey van de Ven, your guy from Wolfsburg. Bring him in on the cheap. He's younger. He's going to be developed. You're going to be able to sell Cucurella for a decent amount of money, right? You also had, Yves Bissouma left in this transfer window as well. You got some money there. That's going to hurt too. We didn't even really mention that, but that is going to be a decent-sized hole that they're going to have to plug up. We do like their midfield decently enough, but you got some money. I know that Brighton is sitting on money. So if you lose Cucurella too, get Van de Ven, and let's get some more offense in there. I know you've already signed a couple offensive guys, but there's a dude at Napoli that is going to cost a decent amount of money. He's Nigerian. He's been linked with Leicester City. Man United wanted him at one point. Listen, Graham Potter, your Brighton and Hove Albion Seagulls, when you're playing on your day, are as good as this Man United team right now. So I don't want to hear any of this bullshit about top 6, about whatever. They're good. You got to go get, and I'm going to say his last name wrong, Victor Osimhen. It's definitely wrong. Michael, is that right?
No, it's like, I think it's Osimhen.
Osimhen. Victor Osimhen. I think you just pick him up. He's been linked to other Premier League teams. He definitely is dynamic. He definitely is fast. He definitely can score. He's a lot of fun to manage on Football Manager. I did that last year. I think you definitely take your chances and try to go pick him up.
The only thing I'll say about that is if Napoli lose Victor Osimhen, that place will literally burn down because their fans are already super fucking mad that they're getting rid of all their players.
Well, who has it been so far? So it's been Koulibaly. The guy you just mentioned, Frank Zamboy. No, they brought him in from Fulham.
They brought him in. And Gisa, they brought in. They've gotten rid of Koulibaly. Insigne went to
Toronto.
Milic went to Marseille. And then Ospina and Coutinho are both gone too. They brought in Anguissa. They brought in Min-Jae Kim as well. But I think it's more the Koulibaly and the Lorenzo Insigne on a free. Yeah.
When you're getting and I don't know, like, not to do like a whole geography type lesson because I don't know it that well, but Southern Italy is not like a economic powerhouse. It's not like Napoli can just go out and like print money for this shit. So it's just
right.
They got to play a little bit more money ball. Join us on our soon to come international podcast. But yeah, I mean, bringing us back to Brighton, I think you go and you pick up a striker like this. Like I said, super dynamic. Just wants to score. That's what he wants to do. He wants to get the ball from different places on the field and score. He did it in Serie A. He's done it in Ligue 1. Like, I think these are the type of guys that Brighton have to hit on. Mm-hmm. And if they do hit on them, then they go 9th again, or they go 7th again, or 7th this time, something like that.
I'll tell you what. How I said last episode, we talked about Wolves, about João Felix. If they brought in Victor Osimhen, that's big because he's good.
Well,
he's legit good.
Yeah, for sure. And again, we'll probably get someone's comment being like, "That's not realistic." Probably isn't. It may not be.
Dude, I don't even know. The Premier League is so insane though now. Like, I mean, we had mentioned before Fulham signing Paulinho or Paulinho. I can't remember if it's Aro. From Sporting. He is also incredibly good, and they just got promoted. So I don't think there's any like, well, Brighton can't sign this guy, or I mean, the only ones really are probably Brentford. Nottingham Forest are spending $100 million already. Like, it's different. It's all different now.
Built different.
All right.
Fucking different. So, with all that said, where they're at right now, Michael, where do you see our Seagulls finishing this year?
13th to 15th. If they get Victor Osimhen, though, I would have to like reevaluate a lot of shit. Like, it would have to be.
So do this one for me then, because I'm throwing that out into the ether, and it's only hit a couple times. We mentioned Jay Lings. We mentioned who's your guy from Denmark, Østegård or whatever his name. Damsgaard. It's only happened a couple times, right? We're not trying to predict this. The one guy that this really hinges on, I'm assuming, is Cucurella. Cucurella stays and is healthy. Where are they at? Cucurella leaves, and they don't necessarily replace him with a Cucurella-ready player. Where are they at?
If he leaves, so I'm predicting that he leaves and they replace him like substantially.
So
not substantially, like reasonably.
13 to 15 is your range if he leaves. If he stays, where's your range maybe bump into?
Like 11.
2 places? Okay.
11, 12.
It'll be, I think I'm right there with, well, obviously I'm right there with you where I have them. I have them 12th. We've talked about a couple teams that I am really excited to watch and impressed with how they've built their teams now that are in that top 10 that I just don't think that they're better than anymore. Like, Villa's good, Newcastle's really good.
If they lose Cucurella and they don't replace him, they could actually get relegated. And
if
if they brought in Undav and and Kiso, if they don't work out super well, then definitely, because like they're gonna be thin.
Yeah, for sure. I got him 12th. Michael 13 to 15. We love the Seagulls. We like Graham Potter.
I love you. It's not anything to do with that. I love you.
Yeah. We think that they're legit. I want to see them continue to build on the success and keep bumping up. Some co-hosts of ours probably don't. I think Dylan at one point, Wolves was in direct competition with them. It looks like they might be battling in that mid-table. But that's our Brighton and our Hove Albion.
Yeah, I will say though, Brighton did win Dylan like a pretty substantial amount of money because they came in better than 10th. So
true, very true. Betting matters. Like, subscribe, share. Let us know how we're doing. Send this to your mother. Send this to your father. Maybe a cousin. You never know. But until next time.